Hello everybody. So this film is just to give you a little bit of a perspective of what I will be doing on my portal leaderswithempathy.com. So I will focus primarily on 4 areas that are related to creating a new leadership style. And I will support you in finding inspirations and some practices in those 4 topics. So the first topic is fear. And in the time of changes and anxiety, we know that fear comes very easily to our hearts and to our minds. And sometimes it's not even visible from the outside, but inside. The fear is overtaking our hearts and brains, and this is not good for the business, and this is not good for the teams. So how to manage the fear and how to create an emotional stability and calmness. So I will invite some of my friends and people that I know that will share with us how to cope with it, and how to create calmness, and how to become certain that everything is just all right. That would be my first area of focus. The second area of focus is about the hierarchy and competitiveness. So nowadays, the times of a single leader who is like a cowboy, and that knows all the solutions and shows the way and so on, those times are over. We are living in the times of cooperation and teamwork, and a genuine cooperation and genuine teamwork. The complexity of this world, the multiple dimensions and of the problem is somehow forcing us to look at the issues from a different and various perspectives. So we have to stimulate teamwork in our companies. Us as the leaders, we have to also be courageous enough to say, well, I don't know, I really don't know how to do it. Because more and more often we will face this reality that the complexity, the technological advancement is so robust that we simply don't know how to approach and solve the problem. So we need to ask for help, and we need to put in place the right people and engage maybe ourselves in the cooperation, like peer-to-peer, even though there might be a decade or 2 difference between us in age. But who cares? We have to become aware and conscious that cooperation and genuine teamwork is must to solve the problems. The third one is, it's about taking ourselves too serious. And I see it in many of the markets, and it's not maybe everywhere because this is so cultural. I'm coming from Eastern Europe, so here people, when they have a position and title, they become super serious about themselves. But this is not good nowadays, because we have to keep a little bit of distance to ourselves and to who we are, to be able to see things from a different perspective. I always encourage my friends, leaders, to look at the business from the last day of your life. How would you manage the business? What kind of decisions would you take if that would be, from the perspective of the last day of your life? And this last day of your life will surely come. We can be sure 100%. So if you think about that, what decisions would you make? How would you think? And I'm not saying that to make ourselves sad or nostalgic. This is not the point, but that should support us in having distance to the problem, because the world will throw at us a lot of issues in the coming years. I'm sure about it. But how we can keep the distance and have a clarity of mind and certainty that everything can be solved. And this is not end of the world if the project is not going well, you know. This is not end of the world. The world is going and doing quite well without without our problems. So let's have some distance to it. And the fourth topic that I will talk about in my portal is about the self-awareness. And it's quite striking that many of us leaders, we don't know ourselves good enough. So we have to increase our self-awareness. And I know that the mindfulness trend is really growing, which is fantastic. But we need to also focus this mindfulness on ourselves. We need to understand who we are, why we behave in a certain way, what bothers us and why it bothers us, what's important and what is not so important. And it's actually a very valid question, because sometimes we just go with the flow and we say, well, it was always important, that it will remain important, but maybe not. Maybe things are changed and we have to have a fresh take on the problem. So self-awareness is the most important job that every single leader needs to undertake right now. And without it, it would be very difficult to stay calm, have distance, create fantastic non-hierarchical organizations, and so on. So on those 4 areas, I will focus on my portal, leaderswithempathy.com. Please follow me. I will write articles, do videos, and podcasts. Thank you and see you. Bye.